So I have a pretty good love for this place, and one of my passions is to hope that the other kids that grow up within eyesight of these lights on the football field and this building are they have the same type of opportunity. And the people that I crossed paths with here as I was coming back for this, I'm thinking about all the people I interacted with that were here, and the teachers that engaged me and gave me a hand up, things like that. It's just it's a really cool thing to reflect on, and I'm very humbled and surprised, and especially when I look at the people that are on the election, the group. There's a couple of those people that I know would not have voted for me. And I say that humorously, but it's a cool recognition. But my favorite part is that it's as a contributor, not as an athlete. A lot of people come up to me and assume it's as an athlete, but again, the good Lord's done a lot of cool things in my life and has given me an opportunity to be able to be a resource to these people here, which is something I'm very proud of. And so I'm glad I'm being recognized for it, but at the same time, it's just an encouragement to continue to do what we've already been doing.
Well, you answered my next question, which was about being a contributor rather than going in as an athlete. How do you plan on to further
I do have a
continue
comment
that?
about that if you want. Well, the funny thing was, if they put me in as an athlete, they would have to put a lot of people in here, because there's a lot of people that had better high school careers than I did. But for whatever reason, I was never smart enough to quit what I was doing, and the good Lord blessed me with a lot of cool things that happened after here. But if they decided that my athletic career here was good enough to be in some form of a Hall of Fame, they're going to have a lot of names on this list, because there were a lot of people, even when I was here, that were better than I was.
Should that serve as an inspiration to the kid that may not always be first team SAC to keep on going?
It's funny you say that. I don't think I was ever first team SAC in football, ever. And I always bring it up to Coach Isaacs when I see him, because I'm pretty sure he made sure his guys were always the first team guys, and I never had a chance. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a better baseball career than football career when I was here. But I don't know exactly why everything worked out, but I'm fortunate that it did, and trying to use those resources and experience to continue to help my home school.
And then you have your football camp every summer. Any dates set out for that just yet? Or
Yeah. Actually, I think they just put it in the paper in the last couple of days. Middle weekend in May for the camp will be the 14th, 15th of May, and we're actually separating the coaches clinic out. We're going to do it a few weeks earlier, and I don't want to make any announcements on that yet, but we're in the process of working on what I think will be some pretty cool hosts for that. So I'm looking forward to it. But 14, 15 May, signups I'm sure will be ready in the middle of February sometime. So looking forward to maxing that out again.
And obviously, we got to ask you while you're here, Carolina Panthers had a pretty big game tomorrow. How do you think their chances are against the Cardinals?
Well, I think their chances are great. They're very, very good. They're a very confident team. They're a very healthy team, which is huge this time of year. I mean, to be able to play 24 weeks of football and having your big key members a part of most of those games is really big. But I'm not sure there's a guy who has a better combination of football intelligence and athletic ability as far as a quarterback than Carson Palmer. They're really good. Their defense is really good. I'm not sure how excited I'd be about playing them right now, but if the Panthers play their game, they're hard to beat, obviously. But I have a feeling this will be as good of a team as they've played all year for sure. And they'll be ready to play. Coach Arians is the real deal. If you've probably picked up on that, he's the real deal.
And no team seems to be having more fun. Just, you weren't in that locker room all that long ago. Did you see the buildings of that in your later years with the Panthers?
Well, my last couple of years there were during a transition, so in kind of a challenging one. We went through a lockout, then we had a full-on clean slate of fully new, all new coaches, everything new, front office new. So there wasn't a lot of that yet, but you could see that the personalities that were there lent. I mean, everyone obviously focuses on Cam, and he's obviously everything you see that he is, and he has a great time, and he's really, really good. But there's guys like Ryan Kalil, the center, Thomas Davis, that were guys that they were the same guy today as they were 8-9 years ago when they got there, and they're guys that type of place can be built on. And I'm not in the locker room right now, but what I know of the football locker room, they're the guys that thing's been built on, and they've been able to bring in other pieces around them that have really taken off. And guys like Cam and Luke Kuechly, these guys are as good of players as this league has seen in years, and they put them in a position to play really well. It's fun to see, and the cool thing about living there is, my neighbors who are diehard Panther fans, everyone's just so excited right now. I mean, I think Mother Nature's trying to screw it up this weekend, but the economics, all the stuff that goes along with it, it's awesome for the city of Charlotte. So.
Say they do make it past the Cardinals and they land in the Super Bowl. Who would you want to see? Would you want to see Denver, or do you want to see New England?
I don't. You know what? I don't think it's good to play either one of those teams, to be totally honest with you. And take it from somebody who's played with Peyton for a short period of time and understands football. Get off the idea that he's not good and he's done. That guy is every bit as good, and he's got different tools than he used to have. And most really great players, if you look at any historically really great athlete, you look at Michael Jordan, you look at these guys, their game is different today than it was their first 5 years in basketball, or football, whatever it is. Peyton had a significant contribution to winning the game last week, and it wasn't throwing the ball. I wouldn't want to have to play either one of those guys. I would say that I would come down to who's the healthiest team, and so if I was playing against them, I'd like to play the least healthy of those two teams. But Tom Brady, with all his guys that can catch the ball, is a nightmare. Bill Belichick's obviously they go to the Super Bowl every year or every other year, whatever it is. It's silly. I didn't play in one in well over a decade. These guys go like every other year. It's not even real to me. But I don't think I'd want to play either one, to be honest with you. Can you get a bye for the Super Bowl? I don't know. How does that work? Can you take a week off?
Get that week off. You get the Pro Bowl week.
But you know what? I'm not sure they've played a team with a defense like Carolina. So, they got their own challenges. If Carolina's the team, they've got to play there. So.
So obviously it's looking way far ahead, but since we won't get a chance to talk to you before the actual Super Bowl, what would a championship mean to the community in Carolina?
Well, you guys were probably pretty familiar with what it did to the city of Indianapolis, right? I mean, it changes, if just from the inside the locker room, it changes the career of every player in the locker room. It changes the career trajectory. It changes their off-field opportunities. It changes the career for those coaches, the GMs. Everybody all of a sudden becomes a Super Bowl champion X, Super Bowl champion coach, Super Bowl champion receiver, and there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. I'm not sure what all the economic impacts are, but I know that one of the two biggest sporting events of the year is happening this weekend in Charlotte. So that's got to be great for every business owner in Charlotte. People in Charlotte have been waiting for this for, I think they last played it in 2003 or 2004. It's a pretty significant deal for everybody, I think. As a player, that's kind of why you do it. I don't have a lot of regrets about my athletic career, but that would have been one thing I would like to have at least played in one. Not necessarily so that I could go around telling everybody I was a Super Bowl champion or have a ring. That'd be cool. But just to see how I could respond as an athlete in that type of environment and see if I could, maintain, play my game, emotionally and psychologically in that type of stage. I would have liked to have seen how that was. I made it to the championship game and never got a chance to play in this one. But, it would be pretty awesome. But it's I think it's one of those things that just changes. It changes the careers of everybody in there. It's a great resume note and great experience. But the week after it's over, what they start talking about? The questions you guys start asking is, so how are you going to do next year?